Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. Let's talk some May favorites and fails. I didn't really think I was wearing that much makeup this month until I started pulling out all the things that I had been reaching for. Normally what happens is I leave my most reached for things either in my daily makeup bin, which is like right here on the desk in front of me, or on the countertop, so that when I sit down and I'm trying to do favorites, I'll go, oh yep, I've been reaching for this and for this and for this. And I realized that I have really been either going light on eyes, like hardly any eyeshadow, and doing like eyeliner and mascara, or just skipping eyes altogether, like a bare eye. I know, who am I? I have no idea. The duo that I've been using the most is this. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I've been wearing it for much of this month. It's a matte and a pressed pigment from Sydney Grace. The matte is called Grounds. It's such a beautiful, cool toned, almost grayish brown. And this pressed pigment, I love this. This right here is the shade Troops. This is one of like their most well-known pressed pigments, but this is the combo right here. I like that they're both cool. They both lean a little bit in that deeper, darker vein, especially on my fair skin, but swatched out, they're so pretty. So like the reflection on the pressed pigment, but the deep richness. It's not too dark, it's dark enough. It's so good. And I can use my fingers, like if I wanted to just like tap this on in the outside edge, pick up a little bit of the sparkle and like smudge it all together. I've done that this month without using a brush at all. Love this. I do really like to take, instead of the matte, and I'm wearing it today, that pressed pigment on my lower lash line just for a little bit of light, just like a really light whisper of it. But I really have been eschewing much of my eyeshadow collection and been reaching for this. The two other eyeshadow actual pre-made palettes that I've been reaching for, this is one of them. This is the Leeless Dew from Viseart. This is one of their Petitfours, their quads. And it's mainly for like these two shades here that I feel like are doing something similar to what I'm getting from the duo that I picked up. Just a little bit grayer overall and a hair cooler. And I feel like that's really what I have been longing for. And surprise, surprise, the last palette that I have reached for a ton this month is this. This is Lisa Eldridge's Vega palette. It's got those grays, those kind of taupey, sparkly shades. It's just stunning, stunning, stunning. Some of my favorite shades are these two here. They bring some really beautiful light to the eye, but they're not heavy and they're so forgiving. Viseart, Sydney Grace, and Lisa Eldridge are great on a more mature lid. They bring the sparkle, they bring the light, but they don't create additional texture. And all of these mattes blend out beautifully. All of the sparkles look amazing. Viseart and Sydney Grace can work well on an unprimed lid if you don't have particularly oily lids. I do find that I get better longevity and less creasing, and I don't think I have oily lids, but this needs a primer to stay put. So I've been using Matte's Paint Pot and Painterly or the Milani eyeshadow primer. And that's basically all the eyeshadow I've been doing this month. And part of me is like, wait, what? With all the eyeshadow I have, oh, I can't believe it's been basically cool neutrals. Most of this month I've been using concealer just where I need it, but when I've been reaching for foundation, I've been reaching for these two. This is the Bosma foundation stick. I love this. I'm wearing it today. It's so easy to blend. This is shade number 38. It's the second lightest neutral shade. There are 40 shades in this range and I love that, but my favorite thing to do is to grab a brush like this and just, it like blends itself. It's so easy. It's so beautiful. This is, I would say, medium to buildable. They kind of call it full coverage. I've never put on that much. I'll take like, you know, 2 swipes here, 2 swipes here, one on my forehead, one down my nose and on my chin, and blend it in, and I get great coverage where I feel like you can still see a little bit of the freckling coming through. It takes down the redness and it fixes some of the uneven tone, but you can still see hyperpigmentation through there, but it just makes it look like a more even canvas. It makes it really beautiful. The one thing I have noticed is that this actually can catch in dry patches. So I've been careful about making sure my face is exfoliated. I realized I'd gotten out of the habit. I used to exfoliate like with a really good exfoliator once a week, and I kind of didn't do that for a while. And so this was catching in places once I started exfoliating once a week. This has been beautiful. The other thing that I have been really impressed with is True Match. Oh my goodness. Now this is the reformulation. They put it in a pump, they re-released it. This is a drugstore gem. I wear the lightest neutral shade in N0.5. And it's a really beautiful skin tone match for me. Another one of those that is a little bit radiant and skin-like, but not heavy. This has been beautiful. It wears really well. I have combo skin, so especially now that temperatures are warming up, I have a little extra oil here, plenty in the nose, and sometimes a little bit cropping up on the chin. Mostly my T-zone. The rest of my skin is mostly normal. Sometimes my under eyes, if I'm not careful, can be just a hair dry if I don't moisturize properly. But I feel like both of these are great for my type of skin and for the level of coverage that I like to wear, which is just enough to protect, not enough to look too heavy, and they wear really well throughout the day. By the way, it's almost 7 o'clock at night, and I have been wearing this for, I don't know, I would say at least a good 9, maybe 10 hours. I've been so worried I'm going to misplace this because look how tiny it is. I feel like I'm holding like toys that should be for like American Girl dolls. Like, isn't it like teeny tiny toy size, doll size? This is the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. This concealer is in the lightest shade in Birch, and this is way more coverage than I was expecting because I need a dot this size to cover my entire under eye. Oh my goodness, it's so pigmented. It's also very brightening. You can see that it's significantly lighter, but I feel like when I have it on under here, it doesn't look that crazy. If I'm careful with how I blend it with a damp sponge, or I really take the edges out nicely with a brush, you really can't tell, but it has such beautiful, it's like really great coverage. And when I think of really high coverage concealers, I think of the one from Estee Lauder, their Double Wear Radiant Concealer. I think of the one from Huda Beauty, the Faux Filter. This one is excellent, excellent. It's so, 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 so good. I could see myself, oh, look, I already have like a little place here, like a little tiny air gap. When this is done, and it's gonna take me a while because you need very little of it, I'm gonna get the full size great concealer. Someone recommended to me in the comment section, and I was like, oh, pick it up, I'll get the mini, see how I like it. Love, love, love. Between that and the Tom Ford matte traceless that goes under, oh, beautiful, both of them. But this is the one, like, Tom Ford kind of ruled April. This one I've been reaching for nonstop for all of May. When I'm getting ready quickly, especially now that the weather's warming up, I try not to set my entire face. I try to set just like my T-zone where I need it. And my favorite powder this month, this is not a new powder, has been this. This is Glossier's Wowder. What's interesting to me that Glossier is now available at Sephora, but you can't buy this on the Sephora website, and it's not in store on the gondola. Well, at least not in mine. And I think that if you want this, you kind of have to get it through Glossier, but this is one of my favorite powders. Okay, and the reason I say that is I don't want to look dry. I don't want to look powdery. I want it to look like there's nothing there, but I also don't want my makeup to slide around my face. And I want something that I can use under the eye and on the rest of my face and not make my under eyes look like craggly crevices. And this is one of those powders that I can put everywhere, under the eyes, in the T-zone to set, and because I have extra oils there, the rest of my face. It's just beautiful. This is a great powder. I wear the shade G11, G12. It's the lightest shade they have, but this has been amazing. One of the powders that I tried this month, well, I got it in April. I got it for the sale, and I've been wanting to love this, and I love the delivery method. I just don't know that this powder and me are going to get along, and it's this. This is the HD Light and Twist from, actually it's a Twist and Light from Makeup Forever. So my favorite thing about this is the fact that all you have to do is turn the bottom of it, this bottom portion, back and forth, and powder falls into the well. And so you'll have, you know, powder there. But this whole Twist and Light, it's very, very radiant. So it has 3 different colors in it. It comes in different skin tone shades. So I have the lightest one in 01, but it has kind of like a skin tone shade. It has kind of like this pinky shade and a blue here for like color correcting. But every time I put this on, all I can see is like, it's like a highlight. It's hard to see it here, but when I have it on my face and the sun hits, oh my goodness. So we're all familiar with the mirror of truth. It's the mirror in your visor in the car. So you flip down the mirror and you're touching up your makeup or making sure your eyeliner isn't going where it shouldn't or what have you. And there have been times that I have been wearing this and I pull down the mirror of truth and it's like, oh my goodness, because natural sunlight is coming in and all I see is all of the additional texture. My crow's feet, some of the larger pores I have in this area. I feel like this is a really pretty powder. I think it works well like to set my under eye, and it brings some light and some reflective qualities. But if I take it too far down and it hits any of my larger pore area here, game over. Or if I get it too far back here and it settles into my crow's feet, heaven forbid I put any on my forehead, because all you would see are how big and cavernous my forehead lines are. I have to be really careful where I use this. I don't think I'm going to return it. I love the way the powder is stored in here and it's delivered. But you know what? The other thing I figured out, I was curious to see if this was similar to the Givenchy Prisma Libre. Now, this is one of those iconic powders everybody talks about. And it has, again, like multicolored. I have the lightest one here in pastel mousseline. So it's got like a blue, a green, a lavender, and like kind of like a whitish, almost flesh toned color. So we've got multiple shades in each of these. You're supposed to color correct, supposed to mattify and bring light. This brings almost like a highlight sort of like radiance to it. This one is really good at, when I'm comparing these two, this one all the way. The other thing you should know is when you're looking at price per ounce, you're getting 0.2 ounces here and 0.42 ounces. There's twice as much powder here than in this. And I feel like if you're looking for that color correcting where you can put it all over your face, this works under my eyes, this works on the rest of my face. I have to be careful that I don't go too heavy-handed with it. If you're looking for a little light correction, you're paying like, what, $65 for this? This is like almost $50 and you're getting less than half the amount than you're getting in here. Packaging is cool and all of that, but keep that in mind. If you're looking for one of these, I would recommend this. This was kind of a fail, mainly for the like super highlighted effect, like me in the car with that mirror in the visor. Oh, it was bad truth. I did not want to know. I've been looking for a green color corrector. I've tried a couple in the last several weeks, and one has been really good because it's just enough and not too much, and one I feel like could be good. I just have to figure it out. Right now it's not my favorite. All right, the one that I've been loving is this. This is the 24-hour redness eraser from L'Oreal. It's green but not too green. So it looks like this. And once you start to blend it out, it has a lightweight lotion feel. It's not too silicone-y. I feel like any additional redness that you see like right here in the tops of my hand is gone, but it doesn't make my hand look green. Now, I did try, this is not available at the moment, but this is the Beauty Pie Super Luminous Redness Corrector in green. This is crazy pigmented and you need the smallest. This is too much. This is too much. But when you start to blend it in, it's a little bit tackier, a little bit thicker. I feel like I can still see the green, where this one, I can put a layer of it down. And if I put a little bit of like translucent setting powder, I'm fine. I don't have to put actual concealer or foundation over the top. This one, if I don't, I end up looking a little bit like She-Hulk. Okay, but if you have a lot of redness, this might be the level of concentrated that you want. Now, okay, Beauty Pie does something weird when they will release new things just to members. I picked it up when it was like member only exclusive. They're out of it right now. And I don't know, it was one of those trials, like, do you like it? Should we make it? Should we make it available to everybody? When I purchased it, only members could purchase it, and then they sold out, and I haven't heard whether they're bringing it back. This might be a one-off, but I don't know that this is my favorite, and I'm not going to be sad because I feel like all of my needs are being taken care of by this. This is available at your local drugstore, and it's not that expensive. So I picked up these two eyeliners. Oh my goodness, so good. Everybody's been telling me try the Makeup Forever Aqua Resist, because I'm always saying I'm looking for something that's going to stay in my upper waterline and not transfer to my lower when I blink. This has been amazing. This is the shade Iron. I'm wearing it today. I like that it's kind of like a really dark charcoal. It's so beautiful. I don't want a full-on black, but it's enough that it blends well with the black mascara I have going on. Now, I've never been a black liquid liner type of person. I've always gone for like a dark espresso brown, but I wanted to try the new one from Danessa Myricks. This is the Line Work liquid liner. Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. This is one of those, It's a brush tip, so the more you press down, the thicker the line gets, but it's just the nice, okay. I have always loved the one from M, the illustrative liner. This I feel rivals it. It's also water resistant. I don't know that she's full on waterproof, but I have really watery eyes, especially this time of year. I have not had problems with this running. There have been days, I'm wearing it today, and it's a real subtle kind of line, and I stop right at the end of my lash line, but there are days that I really take it out and create a wing with it. It's beautiful, it lasts all day. I really, really like this. I do feel like maybe, as you can see, like maybe right through here, I might be running out of juice, and it might have just been the way I was storing it. I'm gonna store it like this and hope that the ink continues to flow down into the tip. But these two liners have been what I've been reaching for, and I've surprised myself because I'm always going for a pencil brown liner and a brown liquid liner, and I've just been like, whoa, these two have been amazing. I don't get any smudging or any transfer. All I have left are cheek products and lip products, and I feel like for most of this month, that's all I've been wearing. All I've been wearing. I've been addicted to the glosses from Beauty Pie. I have forever been telling you this is my favorite gloss formula. This is what I'm wearing today. You can see I'm nearly out of it. This is the shade Sun Hazed. It's a limited edition summer release that they came out with a couple years ago. And every time they release it in the summertime, because I think they bring it out for the summertime, kind of like their bronze collection, I always pick one up. This one is so pretty. This one here is from last year. I do have an unopened one that I got recently, but I'm like, I will finish this. One thing I do is I take the stopper out because I'm at the point now where I want everything. In January, these were $9.50, and they are now up to $14 a pop. I did some math, that's like a 47% increase since January. In 6 months, I'm like, what? Crazy, but I do love this shade, I do love this formula, and I'm forever reminding myself, I paid more for a lip product than that, but I guess the part that hurts me is just when prices increase so dramatically, almost 50% increase in the last 6 months. And I'm always reminding myself, Beauty Pie always has their like luxury products at affordable prices. They're getting less and less affordable, but still, I think I would continue to purchase because I love these. This is another shade that is released, I think, just for the summer. This one, I think, is Naked Peach right here. And my favorite new one, oh my goodness, can't stop wearing this. This is Island Glow. And they all have a little bit of shimmer running through them, but they're not too much. They're comfortable, they're nourishing, they're lightweight. They're all I really want in the summertime. I have been loving these. Now, here's a gloss that I was like, wait, I don't know. I nearly returned it, but I realized I've been wearing it so much. I actually really liked it. It does one of the things, if I'm not careful, that I hate, which is to string and pull. If I over apply this, game over. It is just Goop City, and I have way too much product where my lips touch. It's kind of like a cheese pull, and I have strings of gloss. Just, can't stand it. But it's this. This is the Lawless Forget the Filler Plumping Gloss. This is the shade Cherry Vanilla. Look how, like the other ones are shiny, and this is like a sheer, almost like a slick layer. And that's the problem. I cannot go in and apply this and use both sides of the applicator. I have to carefully apply one, press my lips together, finish distributing. I cannot go in for a second dip or use the other side, or it's String City. But this is it's a pretty, just barely rosy color. It's so, so, so lovely. But I feel like so much comes out on the applicator, but I do love the shape of this applicator. I mean, it's kind of like that slight little scoop, and you get a lot on the end. It's just a lot, but if you look at it, I've been going to town. I picked this up during the Sephora sale, and she's more than half gone. I don't know why I have been liking a gloss so much that commits one of my cardinal sins, which is to puddle in the corners, to get really sticky and stick to itself. Can't stop reaching for it. I'm gonna link the video for you here as well as the description box down below, but I did a try on this month of some luxury and high-end lipsticks. Some ones that I had just been really intrigued and wanted to try more of, and I bought a whole bunch of new things. I spent so much on new lipstick this month, and here's where I'll tell you, I picked up something accidentally. I thought I was picking up the Demure Velvet lipstick, and I accidentally pulled out one of their transfer proof matte lipsticks. I do not like the transfer proof, and I thought I returned it. I returned the wrong one. Wrong one. The one that I purchased initially when the formulation first came out was their shade 999 Dior Forever, which is like a bright red, and it's their classic Dior shade, which I really like. But the formula and me did not get along. And when I thought I was picking up one of the velvets from Dior, I got this one. And when I realized now, I returned the red one in the case and I kept the wrong shade. Okay. So this right here is a beautiful shade. This right here is the shade Forever Nude style. It's shade 300, but this is the Dior transfer proof matte formula, which I do not like. The reason I don't like this, it says it's supposed to stay on for 16 hours. Not in my opinion, unless you're laying on the bed like a corpse. I also feel like it says it's not supposed to transfer to things when I'm eating a meal. Even if I'm not eating something oily and I'm just like blotting my lips with my napkin, I have fabric napkins in my house. This lipstick, especially the red one, boy, that one transfers. Other things that I do not like about this is that the formulation is matte and it is drying enough that when I press my lips together, sometimes product from the bottom lip will stick to the top or vice versa, and I'll get a bald patch. Like it sticks to itself and it pulls away from the lips, and I will have like a gap of color. It's not a good feel on my lips. I don't like the way that it wears. I don't think that it's 16-hour wear. I feel like I can feel it and it always is a little bit tacky. It's just not a good mouthfeel. So I don't love this, even though $45 lipstick's supposed to be like the end all and be all. I like this color, but I thought I was returning this one and I accidentally returned the one that I had before in red. I love the red shade, just not this lipstick. So that was a fail, but I did go back and I did finally get my hands on a velvet lipstick. So you can tell that the packaging is different. So the Dior Transfer Proof comes in this matte bullet packaging, and this one right here is shiny, but this has been fantastic. I love this formula. This is a very easy nude shade to wear. It's a little on the peachier side. This is shade 100 Nude Look, but this formula, I don't know that you can see it, but the way that it glides, the other one kind of grabs my lips, and unless I warm it up on my lips, can be a little grabby and skip a little bit. This never skips. This is so comfortable. Now, it's not transfer proof. I also like the packaging because it's like red on the inside. I like that. I feel like the packaging is nice here, but I feel like between these two, I prefer the velvet formula. This is the one I've been liking. I did fall in love with another matte lipstick, and this is the one from Gucci, another $45 lipstick. Oh my goodness, this shade here is everything that I've been wanting. I've been wearing it so much. This is fantastic. This is the shade Peggy Taupe. I don't think this is very taupe. It's very mauve, but it's beautiful. It glides. It glides. Both of the ones, the Dior and the one from Gucci, have this beautiful slip to them, and that's what I'm wanting. It kind of reminds me of the ease and the glide of the Lisa Eldridge words, and neither of these dry my lips out. This one leaves me dry. Dry, 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 do not like. But these two formulas here have been remarkable. Now, this is not a matte lipstick, but my goodness, this Armani lipstick, oh my goodness. I have been loving this. I picked up a lot of nudes, you can see that. This one right here is the shade 109. This is the Lip Power, but it's a cream formula. It's gorgeous. I want one of these in a red. This is everything that I want in a lipstick. It has really beautiful pigment. It lasts well. There's a little bit of shine here, but when the shine kind of dies down in about half an hour, it wears well. It doesn't do a lot of like going everywhere I don't want it. I really, really, really have been liking it. The last lipstick I picked up, and I didn't think I was gonna like this as much because the first time I tried it on, I was like, I don't know. It's a little slippy. This is the Cream Supreme from Make. So first of all, hooray that she's refillable. Love that. They don't have the refills as of yesterday because I was looking on their website yet, but I really have been enjoying this formula. This is a pinky nude called Equilibrium, but it's very shiny. Out of all of these, this is the one that kind of goes places the most. It stays really well when I line my lips. I've been using Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk to line my lips. When I use this, it's almost an identical shade match, and it's something I already had in my collection. But this formula has been really nice. $26, but it is kind of an expensive, skinny little lipstick. But this shade has been, I don't know, I've been living very heavily in these kind of pinky nudes or mauves this entire month. Okay, so I got one of these during the Sephora sale and I liked it so much I picked up another. These are from Kaja. These are their lip and cheek stains, and the shade that I got first was this one right here. This one is called Fig Soda. I really like this. I think I was wearing a little bit of this earlier and, you know, it stained my lips a little bit. I have worn these as a blush as well. They work really nicely, but I find one cheek at a time because, you know, when these start to kind of blend out, you want to make sure that you have it exactly where you want it before you leave it alone. This one here is one of the darker shades. This is more of a brown leaning shade. This one is, I don't know, it has mocha in the name. I'll put it up on the screen for you. I know they look really similar here, but this one definitely leans more brown on my lips, and this one's a little bit more berry. I'm surprised I still have the chains for both of these. Like, I did not expect that to happen. I expected it to fall off and be like, whoop, well, there it is, gone. But what's great about these is they do have a little bit of a shine to them. They do keep my lips nourished. What I normally do is just toss one of these in my purse. I'll apply it, toss it in my purse. When I feel like I'm getting some of that, like shininess is going away, the shine lasts for a good 45 maybe minutes to an hour. I'll reapply. Or if my lips start feeling a little on the dry side, I'll reapply. And these are both ones I can apply without a mirror. Like, don't we love something like that? And I don't feel like I have to be careful or precious about it, but every time I put on another layer, I build the color. And then pretty soon I get to the point where a lot of the color that I have on my lips is just one of these leftover stains. I have really been liking these. These have been really great. For much of May, I've been reaching for my Elevated Glow from Eldridge. This is the shade Pink Moon. I love this. My favorite shade is one that I don't have right now. It's Crystal Nebula, but this is the one that I'm wearing today. It's really pretty. It gives a lovely highlight. This is the lightest shade I think that Lisa makes. I like putting this down on my face first and then building up a cream blush or liquid blush and bronzer on top. I find that when I put this over the top of maybe blush, it kind of will thin out the blush a little bit, but I love this. It's one of my favorite summertime glows. It is highlighty without being glittery. It's so pretty, and I feel like that name Elevated Glow is perfect because it's exactly what I want at nearly 50. I don't want to look like a, you know, glitter disco ball. I want to look like, you know, somebody with a really pretty but not subtle highlight. I want glow. I want glow. I want her to be shiny, but I don't want her to be sparkly. And I've been loving this. I've been going in hard for the bronzer. Today I'm wearing the one from Beauty Pie. This is the cream bronzer. I'll link the video for you here and in the description box down below where I tried on for the first time. But ever since then, this is the only one I have been using. And this is the shade in Sunny Side. It looks like it is just a hair warm, but somehow it translates and it's beautiful, beautiful on the skin. It's definitely bronzer territory. I feel like I do better when I wear it high. I'm not trying to really carve or chisel. I don't use it as a bronzer, but as just a regular bronzer. It's beautiful, lasts really well. I've been getting like 10 plus hours of wear out of this. And you know, it's a little bit bolder at the beginning of the day, but it's not like completely gone. I also remember that my oils are in my T-zone, so I don't have oils breaking up my cheek products. And I usually, when I'm wearing cream products like this, I don't set it. Still, head over heels for my Gucci bronzer. Oh my goodness, she's beautiful. And I don't know if you can tell, but I feel like the imprint of the name Gucci in the center is nearly gone. For me to get rid of like part of the pan embossing means I've been hitting this hard. I've been loving it. And I like that it's a slightly rosier bronzer. And sometimes I use just that and a little bit of the Lisa Eldridge. And that, no blush, just those two. Fantastic. Here's another one that really surprised me. This is from Pat McGrath. This is the shade Nude Honey. This is the Divine Bronzer. I feel like Nude Honey is only available on Pat's website. Now remember, if you're ordering, it's gonna take forever and a day. It took more than 3 weeks for this to arrive to my house, like 3.5 weeks from like it released, and I ordered it at the very, like I set an alarm for 9 a.m. on release day, and nearly a month later, she showed up at the house, and I forgot about it. And I didn't really kind of get into it until this month, but once I got into it, oh, I'm so glad I didn't pick up the lightest shade. I was worried the lightest shade was leaning a little too yellow for my skin tone, but this Nude Honey has been perfect. If you're curious, this is what it looks like. And here it is right here. Fantastic. I've really been loving kind of a sheer wash of blush, a really lightweight blush, and one that does both blush and a little bit of glow is this right here. This is the Heaven's Glow Radiant Baked Blush from M. This is the shade Baroque. I love this. This has been a favorite this month. Sometimes I won't bronze, I'll just use that, and that's the only cheek product. I've been kind of lazy. Simple eyes, one thing on the cheeks, out the door. Here's another one that's similar to the one from and I'm not saying similar in formula, but more in the fact that it's a little bit rosy and it has a little bit of highlight baked into it. This is the shade Maiden's Blush from RMS. It's so light, it's so pretty. It's got some warmth to it, it's got some shimmer to it. I can wear just this and I don't need highlight or bronzer. I just kind of liberally apply and out the door. I've been loving that. And I'm back in love with this shade. This is Flirtatious from Pat McGrath. This is the most beautiful kind of light mauve. It's almost, I mean, it's got some nude in there, but it's not too pink, it's not too purple, it's not too nude. Love this. It's hardly anything, but on my fair skin, if I end up going too hard or too crazy with a blush, I could look like a clown really quick. And this keeps me from going into clown territory. It's endlessly blendable. The formula is amazing. I've never tried the duos from Pat, but I have 2 of these just regular Divine blushes and they are literally divine. Still head over heels for this. This is the So Soft blush from M Cosmetics. This is the shade Demure. Again, one of those really like pretty, I mean, it's not too much. It's just barely more than my cheek color. It's fantastic. Here's one that is very like bright and in your face. Another slightly shimmery. This is the Super Cheek and this is in the shade Gleam Me Up. This is kind of like a peachy and slightly metallic. You can see the shimmer here. Oh, I love this. This is my, okay, I've purchased 5 of these cream cheek products from Beauty Pie. My mom liked one so much, she took it with her. She took Sexy Berry. But I have French Raspberry, I have Red Light, I have Blazed Apple, and this one in Gleam Me Up. Love this formula, so, so good. And another one that really impressed me from Beauty Pie is their new vitamin, what's it called? Their Super Cheek Vitamin Powder Blush. This is the shade Current Mood. First of all, love that it's refillable packaging. Just plops right in there. The packaging is almost identical to the one from Make Beauty. Really, really like that. But this shade here in Current Mood is nice. I remember trying their other powder blush before and I wasn't so much of a fan. I felt like it didn't actually blend as well. It had just a slight radiance to it. This is completely matte. I would really love to get my hands on more of these, but man, prices are going up. Prices are going up. I love that they're doing refillable packaging. They have a refillable bronzer. They have their unlipsticks, which I do not recommend because they break really easily, but those are also refillable. I like that Beauty Pie is leaning into the, you know, buy a product, when you finish it, we'll send you a new pan. I think that's great, but I feel like some of my like purchasing with wild abandon days at Beauty Pie are over because the prices are really, really heading upward, and that is not a favorite. Definitely not. That's all of the makeup. I'm trying to think of other things I've been loving this month. Oh my goodness. For Mother's Day, my family got me I think it's a Drink Mate. It's kind of like a soda stream. It's a home carbonation system. And I have been sparkling everything. I don't know whether it was right or wrong, but I made myself an iced sparkling coffee the other morning. I don't know that I'll do that again. It was definitely a moment, but I've been loving like Crystal Light and sparkling water. I have been loving just even making my own like simple syrup flavoring like rhubarb and strawberry and making a soda out of that. Just really loving being able to do whatever I want with sparkling water. My kids have been sparkling. My youngest was like, Mom, don't ever sparkle milk. And I was like, why did you sparkle milk? Anyway, I'm just thinking about some of the books that I've been reading this month. I've been kind of going back and forth between classics. Been rereading Jane Eyre. I haven't read that since I was in high school. I think maybe my freshman year of high school I read that. And I was like, I haven't read that in 30 some odd years. So I picked it up again, loved it. And I realized how descriptive the language is and how much life has changed for women from that, of course, but like it's just like, whoa, so different. Another book that I really enjoyed this month was Daisy Jones and the Six. I know it's been turned into a TV show on Prime, but boy, I don't know which I liked more, whether it was the TV show or the book. But the reason I really resonated with that, first of all, I spent years taking classical music lessons. And so the music aspect of it, I really appreciate. And on top of that, I spent more than 2 decades working in radio. Being a classical musician and working in radio, it's like a different end of things, like the creative process of being a musician, and then all the hoops you have to jump through as an artist to get a record that first of all the label wants to produce, and then after that to promote, and then people want to buy, and how do you get it on radio? And they don't really go too much into the radio aspect of it, but I've had enough conversations with artists over the years that when I'm reading this book, it really does take me back to my radio days, like promotion, being on tour, hearing them talk about being fatigued, living out of a suitcase, you know, never home in the same place. It's really interesting, but the hard part of it is it deals with a lot of addiction. So just keep that in mind. If that's not something you're ready to read about or watch, maybe skip that one. But I was really intrigued and I loved the characters, and nothing more than the music, especially on the TV show, was really, really good. Last favorite of the month, my garden. I am so excited. I have tomatoes planted, I have herbs planted, cucumbers. I don't have a zucchini yet, and my kids are telling me, don't bring a zucchini in. And I'm like, is it summer without a zucchini plant? But if it overproduces, what am I gonna do? I'll have to drive by zucchini friends, just like zucchini, knock and run. But I have really been enjoying spending time. It's not too hot yet. Temperatures are still kind of like in the 70s to low 80s. We had a nice big hot spell mid-month, and then it kind of cooled down again, but we're getting there. It's gonna start warming up, summer's gonna hit, and I'm gonna be inside with an ice beverage the rest of the season. I would love to know what you've been loving this May. Let me know in the comment section down below. If it's a makeup item, if it's a TV show, if it's a book, if it's a snack, if it's a beverage, if it's whatever you're loving, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.